Yes, along with what Julie said, I must alter mine swaying also. I tend to sway also. This evening, Toastmasters International's The Successful Club Series is a set of presentations addressing the subject of quality club meetings. Members will learn about the skills and, excuse me, I just read this. And anyway, all the skills that they strive to achieve for their club to be successful. In this presentation entitled Meeting Roles and Responsibilities, Eric Stepper will provide an overview of club rules and identify ways that Toastmasters can influence and enhance the quality of club meetings. Welcome, please, Eric Stepper.
This evening I want to try and alter some bad habits and not alter some good habits. This is going to be an overview of roles and responsibilities. What I want to do tonight is get into some of the subtleties that create a good club meeting. First of all, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we hand off the lectern. So that means whenever you come up here, you shake your hand, and who's ever in control of the meeting, and then you go back to your seat. Sometimes when you do tabletop, you'll walk off without shaking hands, but we have to always make sure that we turn over the lectern. When we give our roles, sometimes people have said, why do you have to get up and say the roles every time at every meeting? There's a couple of reasons for that. For example, Lance would be lost tonight if we didn't talk about our roles and what's expected. So anytime somebody's new or they're fairly new, when we talk about the roles, then people can follow along in the meeting and not get lost. Also, it is a chance for you to speak. So what you need to do is get real familiar in the manual with what the roles and responsibilities are, so that you know what they are and you've got them down cold. But then it's a chance for you to give your own take on it, and you can expound on it, or you can reverse some of the parts of the role. There's a chance for you to get up and get in front of people and be comfortable about talking. So you need to look at the agenda, and when there's like 3 speakers, Bobby did a good job because there's only one speech up here, and she took a little time to talk about mystery and that kind of thing that happened to her in her life, and you are able to do that too. But if there's 3 speeches, everybody has to tighten up their roles. Everybody has to be real quick so that we can get done with the meeting. The meeting's designed to have 3 speeches, some table topics, and we will be done. And Toastmasters prides itself on starting on time and ending on time. I've been in Toastmasters for 10 years, and if we didn't have that, I would not be a part of it, because I do not like meetings that go over or are undefined. The governor of the meeting is table topics. And what I mean by that is we will have speeches, we'll have 2 speeches, 3 speeches, whatever we have. The table topics, no matter how long it is, needs to be done at 6:15. And when it's done at 6:15, that ensures that we will have a meeting done on time. So if you are in a role, you expand or contract how much you talk by how many speakers there are. And also, if you're table topics master, you expand or contract how many table topics you have by how many speeches there are. And like, for example, last meeting we had like 20 people here. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to get table topics. So make your questions very succinct and very short. Otherwise, if there are no speeches and you need to elongate table topics, then you can go on into a more lengthy description and build the table topics up. So be cognizant of that. Also, table topics is designed to give everybody a chance to talk. So when you table topics master, look at the agenda and see who has a role, and then make sure you have questions for those that don't have roles first. You also have to be cognizant of, like tonight, we have people that are missing, so there's other people that have to step up and take roles, so you have to take note of that. Another thing is, in table topics, make sure that you ask an appropriate table topics for their experience. You don't want to scare people off. Another thing is that when there's people here that have been to maybe 2 or 3 meetings, go up before the meeting and ask them if they want to participate in table topics. They may not quite be ready yet to do that, and you don't want to be uncomfortable. And if you have somebody like Lance here, if you're the table topics master, ask a couple table topics, 2 or 3, before you ask Lance if he wants to participate. Then you can see how it goes, what's expected, and you can say yes or no at that time. And don't badger them. If they don't want to participate, that's fine. And also, I always keep a hip pocket question in my pocket to ask those very new people, like, for example, Lance. I would say, what's your favorite meal or favorite food to have at Thanksgiving? Something just that he's done. You can just bring it out of his memory bank, and it just gets him up here talking and comfortable. It's every one of our duties to take on the roles and responsibilities, and also about being officers, because in order to have a successful club, you want people to take on duties, and you want people to be able to step away and have sometimes away from duties. We can't have just 2 or 3 people running all the duties, because you're going to burn out. So really, it's duty to, number 1, take on the roles, and number 2, to take on officers and officers' duties. Another thing that we're not good at is Lloyd is very good about sending out an agenda, about assigning roles, and it's a big job. And we need to give him the respect of, if we can't make a meeting, tell him that. Or if it's at the last second, tell somebody that you know is going to be at the meeting so we can get the agenda set. One thing that I always bring agendas, but try and bring your own agenda, because like last meeting we ran out, we had an influx of people. Agendas are there for people like Lance or people that are just getting in the swing of things and forget to bring their agenda. But try and bring your own agenda. Another thing that makes a good meeting is if you are a general evaluator or if you're a Toastmaster, sit near the front of the room so that you can get up quickly. And you notice when I was going to be introduced, I got up and I was ready to go so that we don't, I mean, there's some of you that like all the clapping for 5 minutes, but let's spare the rest of it. Are there any other questions or any other comments? Yes, Joe?
When we have perhaps, let's say, one speech with only one evaluation, I think it may, and this is maybe a loaded question, it may be appropriate to go a couple minutes after 6:15 in that case. Would you agree?
Yes.
If we had only one speech,
Yes,
one evaluation.
And you can take license there. The way the meeting is controlled is by the Toastmaster. So the Toastmaster can veto that, or the Toastmaster can expand that. And that's his or her prerogative.
You mentioned the importance of volunteering for an officer's role. Could you elaborate on what the benefit is to volunteer?
Actually, in the manuals and in the awards that you get, you're going to be asked to do several different roles and several different officers. And so you can benefit in that way. Also, just from the experience of it, Toastmasters is very unique. The agenda is designed to help you get all kinds of different speaking roles. There's speeches, of course, and that's the big thing that we know about Toastmasters is coming and giving speeches and getting better at that. Entering contests and sharpening up your skills. There's also like for table topics, you learn to think on your feet, and that's really more real world what is happening. You're in meetings or with coworkers, or even if you want to get ahead, Uncle Fred at a Christmas party. Talking on your feet is something that's very valuable. Also, these roles, being an officer or these different roles, we learn how to run a meeting. We learn what that takes. We learn responsibilities. And we learn being on time and getting things done. So that's also real world. So Toastmasters is a good bang for the buck, and all of that put together. I mainly wanted to be comfortable talking in front of people. And I wanted to be able to think on my feet. So those are the things that appeal to me. And I haven't been a real big speech maker. But I've come to realize lately that I need to do that stuff. I can do those different speeches, so I can be talking about that too, in case I'm called on for that. Good question. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Page 67 of the Competent Communicator Manual states meeting roles and responsibilities. Do you want to speak to that about preparing for your role at a meeting?
No, because my time's up. So I want you to go and do it. I want you to do your reading and do your homework. I want you to learn how to know the exact
I
roles.
thought you had until the red light.
Well, I do, but I got maybe more questions. If I get into that, it's probably a 12-minute talk.
Okay.
And you learn how to, handle hecklers.
Good job, Joe.
Anything else?
Now that we have 4.5 minutes left, I'd like to go over meeting roles and responsibilities and preparing for your role on Monday, where we're notified on Friday via the agenda that what our role is. I think it's valuable. We do
I didn't understand the question.
just acknowledging and bringing up where people can go on a Friday when they get the agenda. That
Oh,
says
in
you're
the
gonna be-
manual.
Where you're going to be
Okay.
tabletop, you're going to be Toastmaster, etc. And it tells you what your role is, so you can prepare for the Monday.
What you do if you have questions about your role responsibility, you go to your manual, go to page 67, and you will learn those details. That's a good point, Joe.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? It's a lot to take in. That these meetings have intricate moving parts. Yes, Julie?
I was wondering, if you're an officer, what are the responsibilities? I mean, not for each individual office, but how often does the group meet? And what is the time that is needed to be in this voluntary position?
Yes. There are varying time since for varying different positions. Treasurer, you take in the dues and you pay the bills if there's not any bills. You also sign up people when they pay the dues, or send in applications for the new members, those kinds of things. If you are VP of membership, you can spend as much time as you want. So it's kind of up to you. The president is the one that calls the meetings, and depending on your personality as president, you'll have a lot of meetings or not many. Lee Pops was very anal about having an agenda and having a meeting, and she was very good at it, and she enjoyed that kind of thing. But I've been exposed to a lot of different presidents, including myself, and it's just kind of a whole different kind of thing. So, and we can talk afterwards about more of those kinds of roles. But the other thing is that those roles in there that are defined by TI, not every club president is the same way, and we kind of do things different too. Lloyd's been doing the schedule for a long time. I did the schedule before him in lots of different roles when I was treasurer, when I was president. But somebody that is consistent in doing it and trustworthy, they should do it. I'm happy to give somebody else to be the treasurer, but being an accountant, it's easy for me. It's something that I enjoy doing. But if somebody just wants to be treasurer, so each club kind of has their personality. But that's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Brad? Yes, Bobby.
I just thought that the comment could be given that usually the officers are elected for the year,
Yes.
1 year, and the president, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only one that is not allowed to serve the second term, at least in a row.
Good point. All right, Ms. Toastmaster.